Alright, so we have about 10 minutes for questions. So first we're going to open it up to the general members. If they have any questions. Melina?
As previous UDVP, your position is much more than just looking at people's resumes, doing interviews, presenting workshops and stuff like that. It's also about upholding a sense of professionalism. So my question to you is, what does professionalism mean to you, and how do you plan to uphold that in your position?
I'll go first. So professional means to me how to carry yourself in and out of the workplace and how you present yourself to others. And it means respect, being hardworking. So I hope that as a freshman, I came in not really knowing what professionalism was, but after showing me the ropes, after being involved in PASS and all my peers showing me the ropes, and even going out of my way to network with professionals in the past year alone, I feel like I've gotten a better feel of what professionalism was and what everyone in the workplace is looking for in a coworker.
For me, yes, it's how you present yourself in front of other people, how you talk to them, how you physically look in front of them, and how you verbally present yourself. But it also comes with you not reducing to who you actually are, because every person is their own leadership. Like I mentioned, they have their own leadership style, and you don't want to reduce that just to conform to what they expect you to look like. So if, for example, if you walk into a room and like don't be that person that just goes up to them and just be robotic. Professionalism also includes having your individual characteristics, in addition to, of course, like the usual like courtesy, like say hi, firm handshake, and all of that. And I definitely think being HSO co-director this year, like we've practiced that a lot with the teachers especially. And it's also something that we try to teach the students every now and then, especially because we focused on teaching them interpersonal skills.
So this question is for both of you. So what steps will you take to increase attendance and participation for your office hours, workshops, etc.?
I can go first. So I mentioned in a platform that I wanted to do more one-on-one interactions. I think doing that alone, even in just like small events like at meetings, definitely like going up to people and having a more personal interaction with them. Something as small as how's your day been could definitely encourage them to come out even more. But not only that, I think having other board members become on board with it with the idea as well. I think that'll also help bring up the numbers when it comes to certain events, and having what I've learned this year is also teaching them things that they already know can of course be discouraging, because why would they show up why would they take time out of their day to do something that they already know? So I definitely think that like educating myself, if given the chance to be elected, in like certain things on like how to improve your resume far greater than like what like verbs to use. I think definitely doing things like that would encourage them to come out.
Yeah, I agree with what Michelle is saying, that it's, so for me, it's like, I just want to make sure that whatever event I'm hosting is something they're interested in. So after getting to know the general members, if I'm elected as CVP, I want to get a feel of what their interests are and what careers and what their biggest worries are as well, in order to tailor my event to their needs. Because like Michelle was saying, it's you don't want it to be so repetitive as something we already know, being in college for the time we have been in. And also, like I was saying, feedback is essential for growth and to be more comfortable in the job working process. So it would be nice to just host that space for everyone to learn from each other and be open-minded, because it honestly doesn't stop here, because there may be things that I don't know, but I can learn from someone else, and so on and so forth.
Another question that we have from us is, you both mentioned Flock. What other types of career organizations do you think PASS will benefit from?
for me, I know that Tim also brought out people from the FACCOC. That's one thing too, because I feel like with them, it's a little less concentrated, because with Flock, it's a lot of them. Although they do say that they're connected with people that are outside of law. I think with just branching out to FACCOC would help us a little more. But not only that, I think we can also utilize other campus orgs, because outside of Alianza, like although it is good to form good relationships with Alianza, I think that other campus orgs have a lot of things to offer too. And they have their own networking events and all of that. So even with starting small, like encouraging members, like, hey, there's this event that are usually posted on the Class of 20 whatever page, you can definitely get a wider perspective that could benefit our members as well.
I can't think of a group like specifically that is similar to Flock, but like I said in my platform, I would continue to research and reach out to other professional groups. And like I said, I want to establish a closer tie with the Division of Career Pathways. And then from what I've seen on their website, they do have a list of the clubs they are affiliated. Like Rochelle was saying, there's more resources on campus. And then for me, like RDCDP, I would stress that. And then I would go check it out myself too, to make sure it's something that our Gen members can utilize.
So this question is for Rochelle. One of your points in your platform was bringing resources that you have to the Passage programs. Would you be concerned that you might be spreading yourself too thin by working with potentially all three at once?
So I mean, obviously, as a person in general, you can only take on so much. But in terms of like from what I have experienced this year, like everyone knows you can't stop life from happening, you know. But obviously, I would just like to say that, like from like an HSO co-director point of view, you are every board position wrapped in one, because you overlook your facilitators. I will be able to handle whatever it may be, because all of my previous experiences have led me to who I am now.
Thank you. And then we also do have a question for CJ. In your platform, you talked about having, kind of like having those one-on-one interviews, and then in your mock interviews, you plan to kind of like research your position as well. What happens if there's too many positions and you can't like research all of them at once? Like, it's kind of in the same vein of Rochelle's question. Do you see that you might be spreading yourself too thin by giving them that option?
Honestly, I don't think I would be spreading myself too thin, because I plan on researching on, just online in general, just looking at the company and looking looking at other people like on LinkedIn and hoping to reach out to them. Hey, you worked at this company. I just wanted to get a feel of what kind of questions they ask, how the culture is like. And it's not just LinkedIn. You could look at, I know there's also another website called Glassdoor, where they post, when people who have interviewed at the company, they post the questions that were asked to them. So, like I said, like for me, it's for CDP, if I were to be CDP, just using the resources around me, and it's not just the internet, it's not just looking up stuff online. It's also the people and all of the networks I've created in my time here in PASS, and also outside of PASS. So yeah, this year I really realized how important it is that you make these connections, and then you grow from what you learn from the other person.
Thank you. And then we can take one more question from the audience. We can wrap up. Maria, go ahead.
So there's gonna be like times where sometimes someone comes to you asking for help and career advice, but they're not in your specific field, or they're not in social studies or social sciences. Sometimes they might be engineering or bio. Like, how would you give them career advice and guidance when you're not really super knowledgeable about their field or their curriculum or where they're trying to head in life, like their career path, basically?
Like I said, like for me, if I were to be CDUP, it's important to be open-minded and being open to new ideas and learn and to keep learning, because you can only get better there's so much room to improve. So my emphasis is on networking. So I do have connections to people who are in those other fields that are not particularly in the social sciences, because I know we do have members that are not completely interested in this idea and in this field. So yeah, like I was saying, that there are other resources that I could utilize, and then I would also advise them to use the resources they have in their particular field, like reaching out to their peer counselors or their academic advisors or some club, and direct them to other orgs on campus that may know more than I do.
For me, I think just being transparent with them from the beginning, letting them know like, hey, I'm not the most knowledgeable about this project, but I can help you. Definitely, like that, I think would give them a sense of comfort. And when it comes to learning things, that I feel like that's important. So I agree with what TJ was saying. Definitely utilize our campus resources. And if it comes to like a career-related question, I'm sure the DCP, which I plan on like working closely with if I do get the position. So I'm pretty sure like they will have some sort of resource for them. So just me being with that person and going with them to the place, leading them to the right person will definitely help them too.
Thank you.
All right, one last round of applause for all our candidates.